The dog's not in the title screen anymore. This is a problem. Something bad's about to happen, isn't it? Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, come at you with another review of School Live. This dark, well, mixture of dark and moe of an anime where 4 girls and a dog are trapped in a school filled with zombies, and one of them has kind of lost her mind, and everyone's trying to cope with the problems at hand while dealing with our dear friend Yuki having such problems dealing with reality. This is now part 10 of the 12-episode series. We are getting pretty close to the end of this, but the entire series will be down in the description below, a link for Crunchyroll where you can watch it all in full without my silliness interrupting the drama and the cutesiness and what have you. So here we go with episode 10. It's an interesting one, so let us begin. Here's a thought, how about leaving the school and hoping that you can survive? In this particular episode, shit really hits the fan. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Stuff really starts to get very serious in this episode. It pretty much was that episode 9 was just a calming little episode before all the problems were hitting. And it's already started off on a pretty dark and dramatic moments. And it almost feels like this episode was a little bit too short because of how much drama and tension and what have you is in this particular episode. Like, I'll go through it each little bit, but oh my god, this one was a roller coaster of emotions right off the bat. I'd pay to see that. I would totally pay to see that. As like with the ending of the last one, Toromaru has been missing. He's been missing the whole day, and the girls are starting to get worried. It's like, well, where's our little puppy? Where is he? He's skipped breakfast. We gotta find him. So the group are combing through the school trying to find him, at least in certain places. Like, Risan, Yuki, and Miki basically stay above, and then Kurumi goes below where the zombies are trying to find him. Oh, this is just gonna open up problems, isn't it? If she's going by herself with her trusty shovel, and all those zombies are showing up. I should also point out that this particular episode, it really seems like things are gonna get serious from here on out, even more so because it's a rainy day. Now, normally you wouldn't think that rain would be that big of an issue, but in this particular episode, it has a lot of implications. Like, apparently the zombies are not fond of rain. And remember, like in previous episodes, they were talking about how the zombies, they act similar to how they did when they were still alive. Not entirely just mindless shambling zombies. They're kind of following into their routines as they did when they were human. So a lot of them are running to the school for shelter from the rain and such. So an invasion is very much imminent in this whole thing, as we see them like breaking down barricades and trying to get out of the rain. So yeah, things are definitely heating up in that sense, because the girls are gonna get surrounded very quickly. That's still kind of weird, but kind of interesting at the same time. On top of that, apparently it was raining when they lost Megune. That was probably part of the way that they found out about how the zombies behave, is that it was a rainy day, they were surrounding the school, and Megune sacrificed herself to make sure that the girls stayed safe. And that was, exactly as I predicted, around the time that Yuki finally snapped and went into her mind of everything is perfectly fine, there's no zombie apocalypse. So it's probably a very emotional moment as well, because not only are they getting close to getting surrounded, but it's a reminder of the day that they lost their teacher, the person who protected them the most during this troubling time and who brought them together, essentially. So yeah, it's it's definitely a emotionally heavy episode, especially later on when shit really hits the fan. Yeah, I guess that would be a reason to be down. But back to Kurumi. She finds Toromaru's paw prints and she follows him downstairs to an area that was apparently labeled in the manual that they found previously. A sort of bunker-ish area. A weird little shelter in the school. And that's where we find Toromaru. But unfortunately, he got zombified. Like, they just outright turned the dog into a zombie. Like, this cute, innocent little puppy we've been attached to for almost all these episodes, and now he's an undead monstrosity trying to kill one of his owners. It's really rather upsetting, to say the least, when you find that. I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah. Aw, man, they turned a puppy into a zombie. How could you? Oh, man. Yeah, this is heartbreaking, to say the least. But at the same time, I had a feeling that was going to happen anyway, just because of, well, not just the ending of episode 9, but also the opening credits. Like, I never mentioned this in the other previous reviews, but something really interesting about School Live is that the opening title sequence changes over the course of the story. And I might actually do like a separate video talking about like how the opening cutscene, the credits into the anime actually changes over time. It's really kind of interesting. Like sometimes it's even just tiny little nuances, but like especially in this particular one, it was straight up different from the first episode. And like I said, I'll probably do a video like talking about the opening cinematic of this, the title sequence, but that was pretty much a big red flare on what happened in this and what was going to happen in this episode just by the title sequence alone. Uh-oh, Doggy's not there, and that's a change. Things are heating up. If the title screen says so, then yeah. So, after the big reveal to Kurumi that Toromaru is now a zombie, she decides to go after the zombie that supposedly turned him. And she hears, like, a zombie that's, like, behind this partially closed door and is surrounded by water, so you definitely know you're not going to get any stealth out of this particular one. So she climbs in, planning to get revenge on the zombie that turned her beloved puppy into a zombie, and as it turns out, like it was kind of hinted at episode 9, it's Megune. I guess she did eventually succumb to zombification like the rest of them, and she ends up attacking and biting Kurumi because Kurumi stumbled upon realizing that it's her beloved teacher attacking her and who turned her precious dog. She stumbles and ends up getting bit. Uh-oh, she faltered. This is a problem. Don't falter. No, hit her. Hit her. No, don't. No, you're gonna. She gonna. Surprisingly, Kurumi manages to make it back upstairs and tell the others that Megune was the one who did this to her, and Toromaru, obviously bringing a lot of upset behavior towards both Risan and Miki, and I can't blame them. It's like, we just find out that the teacher that saved our lives bit one of our precious friends and is, slowly, well, not even that slowly, actually rapidly kind of decaying into one of those monsters as they try to heal her. And the dog is gone too, and there's an invasion happening. It's complete and utter chaos, both, surrounding them and emotionally, because it's like, well, how are you supposed to deal with this? All of a sudden, everything is going wrong. What are we to do? Oh, good. They chained her up, so if she does turn, or when she turns, she won't bite anyone, hopefully. You might want to get away from her mouth, just saying. But thank God for Miki, because she actually has some somewhat sensible kind of, idea going on. Somewhat sensible. It's questionable, but she was reading through the manual, and apparently there might be a cure for the zombification. It's supposedly in the bunker where Kurumi got bit, where Megane and Toromaru are. So she's gonna try and go down there with Kurumi's shovel, which, by the way, now has bite marks in it from where Toromaru tried to attack her. But there may be a chance for Kurumi, which is probably a good thing, considering we see at one point Risan take out a knife, kind of indicating like that time in the mall when Kurumi asked her, like, if I ever get bit, put me down. It's probably getting to that point where Risan is thinking, like, I have no choice. If Miki can't find this cure, I'm going to have to kill one of my best friends, because I can't let this, spread further than it already has. So, yeah, a lot of tension going on through this whole thing. Wait, there's a cure? There's a genuine cure? Where? I can't read that. But also, semi on the plus side, it seems like finally Yuki is starting to wake up from her delusions. Like, we had indications that maybe she was trying to kind of come out of it on her own before, but this one, it was like almost obvious, where she was looking at the rain and was like, oh, it's like that day. Wait, that day? Wait, were those windows always broken? Like, her coping mechanisms, her defenses in her mind are finally starting to really break down, and she's starting to see the world as it really is. So even throughout this whole thing of negativity and, all these problems, there is a slight bit of glimmer that Yuki is finally starting to get it, and hopefully can be of more use than just boiling water, because, well, things are definitely not looking good, as you could tell. Oh? Do you actually remember what's going on? What? Oh. She's starting to remember stuff. But overall, this was definitely a really strong episode. Really interesting. Definitely tension-filled and emotionally gripping, since you get to know these characters for so long, and now all of a sudden one of them might be dead. Actually, two almost might be dead at this rate. The one's walking into danger, one is still struggling, one may have to put down one of her friends, zombies are closing in. Things are really heating up in this, and it's like, oh man, I kind of want to get into the other two episodes at this point, because holy crap, this is awesome and terrible, and awesome and terrible at the same time. It's a weird combo, but it's so cool at the same time. Like, obviously, if you don't watch the first episode, you're probably not, it'll depend, if you watch the first episode, on whether you want to watch this all the way to the end up, and I'm kind of glad I stuck with it, because things are really, really heating up on this, and I'm curious to see where this is gonna go. So, geez, I can't wait to get to the next two episodes. It's a little sad they're almost done, but at the same time, it feels like they're really ramping up for a good finale. So stay tuned for those episodes. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell. And let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me review next. Bye bye!